I wanted to talk a little bit about platforms and devices. We really are fully committed to having our clients on all the different platforms and devices that are out there today, all the major ones. So we have a Mac client today, a fully functional Mac client. We have a browser client today that runs on Firefox as well as IE on Linux. We have mobile clients today for Symbian, Nokia, RIM, BlackBerry. We have mobile clients coming in 2011 for iPhone, for Windows Mobile 7. And of course we have desk phones today, and we'll talk a little bit more about those in a sec. One of the other things, and this is a big piece of what my team does, is building platform. And we get a lot of grief over standards and interoperability. We spend a lot of money and time making sure that we're interoperable with Cisco, Avaya, and all the major platforms out there. And we use SIP Simple, XMPP, Voice XML, all normal industry standards to interoperate. And part of the great thing about that is that we have the ability to federate then with all these different clouds. So whether that's a Google Cloud or different types of XMPP clouds, we can do that in a fairly easy way because we use those standards. And that single platform really is about communication-enabled business applications. So I can drop in the presence into different applications. I can also use that to make it so I can put communication into the workflow apps I have today, whether that's SAP or other types of workflow from Dynamics. One of the pieces that's a big deal for us and a real differentiator from our competition is around our ecosystem. And so a lot of our competition is all about vertical pipes. You buy the phone from them, you buy the desk from them, you buy the telepresence system, you might even have to buy the chair, and you have to buy the switch and the router and everything else to make sure that you get this single solution. For us, really, it's about best of breed. And so when we go out there, we are really looking to embrace a best of breed set of partners. And so whether that's gateways or networking or video or different types of services that are in the cloud, we're really committed to making sure that that's pretty wide. That's one of my team's big responsibilities. We have about 362 partners today in our ecosystem, and that's not SIs, that's really ISVs, so software companies, hardware companies that are really working with us, as well as the SI community. And really, Microsoft has a model where we can't be everything to all people, and so we need to have a platform that's extensible that people can build on. So if you have a vertical like financial services, for example, and you have compliance that you need to do, we go out there and work with ISVs to do the type of call recording you need for financial services. So somebody like NICE, for example, has a call recording solution that's very specific to financial services. There's all sorts of different types of compliance applications that come, and other types of apps that are part of workflow. And that's really a big chunk of what we do to make sure that that application is very rich. The other piece is really our device ecosystem. And so one of the things that we got beaten up on, and actually I was hearing some people having a conversation about this, but they were being very kind about our old device ecosystem, which was a fairly large piece of plastic and a pretty big screen, nicknamed internally called Tanjay, that was sold by LG, Nortel, and Polycom. In fact, the design was done by Microsoft. It was done by my teams. It was the finest in East German design, as we like to say. The screen actually came out of some sort of military application, so with that phone, feel free to hurl something at 5Gs against the screen. It will survive. But it was a very expensive phone. And we've really kind of turned that around, and what we've done is right now we built a platform and we let our device manufacturers do their own plastics, their own price points, and really drive that down. So you're going to be able to find common area phones, IP phones. You're going to be able to find conference phones at really reasonable prices. And I don't know how it translates here. I'll say the U.S. prices, and then I'll be slapped by somebody later. But the kind of low end is about $150. And then you go U.S. and you go to about $250 for kind of the iWorker phone. And these are phones that have all the things that you kind of would expect in the way of consultative transfer. It has a calendar on it. You see the picture of the person pop up when the call comes in. And you can also connect it to your PC so that you can run it from your PC as well. And so we've really worked very hard at the phone ecosystem to make sure that's complete. The other piece was USB devices, headsets, and things like that. We've had those for a while now, but we really expanded that portfolio. And so now we have about 82 certified devices. And one of the things that we learned was you can't go down to any sort of audio-video store and just pull something off the shelf and plug it in and hope that it works. We found when we did that is you often got into these very weird support and quality situations that you didn't know as an IT person how to solve that. In fact, within Microsoft in the early days, we used to have people use Xbox headsets and plug them in to make calls, and that used to cause problems as well until we fixed their quality issues out of that Xbox headset. And so what we did is, there's a couple here on stage, wireless examples, but there's really 82 peripherals now that you can go buy that we've certified using various types of audio quality standards. The other thing is it has to be plug and play. No drivers, you just be able to plug it in and it works. And that was very important. The other piece was driving down the price of HD cameras. So I think in our last release we had an HD camera that was about $300. You can now for 30, 40 pounds get one from Logitech or Microsoft or others who are out there. Something like this was a big deal. It was a big ask as well, which is a little speakerphone, USB speakerphone that you can plug this in, and it just works. Just a little disc that works. So you can make any little room into a conference room. And that was an ask that we had from many customers. When we look at a lot of the things around cost, some of these where we talked about PBX replacement, fewer help desk calls, mobile workers, and reduced travel. And we did some studies on that using Forrester. Actually came into Microsoft and said, we now are at about 82,000 users on enterprise voice at Microsoft, retiring PBXs every day. How much did that save us? And so they went through to figure that out. It's about $18 million over 3 years. ROI is 300%, risk adjusted over 3 years. This is a lot of money, money that we're trying to drive out so that we can return better to the bottom line. And this was a fairly painless process of actually retiring old equipment and driving Microsoft's communication system in. Next, coming in 2011 is Lync Online. So we're going to put many of the features into the cloud. So you have the choice of running it in the cloud or running it on-premise, which is a big deal for many of our customers. And one of the interesting things I found in a lot of the globals that we talked to is that they're putting Lync Online for some of their users who are not necessarily their information workers. The folks that are maybe working on a manufacturing line or something like that have things in the cloud where their information workers have people on Lync on-premise. And so many people are choosing that kind of flexibility, and we're going to be releasing that in 2011. The other piece of this, and Tina hinted at this earlier, was our ability to federate between different corporations. So Microsoft itself federates with 1,200 different corporations today. So when I talk to Intel, I don't actually use the PSTN anymore. I just click and call this person at Intel. When I talk to people at BT, the same type of thing. And so to be able to do business-to-business federation, also business-to-consumer federation, whether that's AOL, Yahoo, MSN Messenger, you can do audio and video with. And then the next link to that, no pun intended, was to bring in Xbox Cloud. And so now we federate with Xbox Cloud. And the story around that is actually pretty funny. Steve Ballmer's son went to university this year. And so he said, I want to communicate. Should I do my Steve Ballmer voice? Yes. I want to communicate with my son. I want to know that he's working on it. I want to know he's working and not wasting my money. And that's my Steve Ballmer voice. I promise not to sweat on you, but to get the full experience, you have to spit and sweat at the same time. So, and so he said, okay, we can do that. And so we put the audio-video stack. So connect at home. You can see the presence of the user, and you can click and connect and have an audio-video chat with your son or daughter at university when they're playing Xbox and know exactly what they're working on. So some piece like that. So I just wanted to wrap up, and we're going to actually have some customers come up and chat about their experiences with Lync, and thank you very much, and let's hear what our customers have to say.